Hi, I am Mary Ellen Saganovich, and you are watching Miracles on Monday with Mary Ellen. Today's topic on miracles is the miracle of promise. Did you know there are two ways to look at the word promise? The first is to look at your unlimited potential or promise you were born to fulfill. The other is to look at promise as defined by your word or your bond. Now, during this segment of Miracles on Monday, I'm going to be looking at both. So let's get started. You are born into this world with unlimited promise and potential. That's not just wishful thinking, that is a promise. No one is born into this world to fail. We are all born to succeed. God put you here to fulfill your promise. It doesn't matter how difficult life has been or what challenges you have gone through. Your promise is never taken away. Your God-given potential is always with you. A promise mindset can be defined by the question, am I fulfilling my promise today? So I guess I could substitute the word purpose for promise. However, for this episode of Miracles on Monday, I'm going to be using the word promise as your God-given gift to the world. Your promise can be achieved in many ways. Now, the simplest measure of any success are the choices you make day to day. These choices become your stepping stones, fulfilling your promise or your God-given gift to this world. When you choose to practice having a promise mindset, you have a greater ability to live your best life and succeed. Now, a really good way to look at promise, or this type of promise, is to see it as a gift that cannot be taken from you, because this is a gift from God. So any type of problems or failures do not lessen this gift from God. These problems and failures lead you to learn the lessons you need to learn in order to fulfill your promise for God here on our world. Now, the self-talk for this type of promise is, I was born with promise, and it is still with me. I am mindful every day at the many opportunities I have to live up to my promise. My promise will never leave me, and I will never abandon my gift from God. Let's look at the other type of promise. The second type of promise ties in with today's truth of the day on all the social media pages. The truth today is your word is your bond. And this is the type of promise I'm going to be speaking about in this segment, or the second half. There was a time in our society, when keeping your word and having value and having integrity held such special significance. People took great pride in being of good character. Personal integrity was both expected and valued. And there was a time when everyone knew everyone else's family, and the children of these families would not do anything to cast a shadow of doubt or negativity on their family's good name. The truth is our world has changed, and the importance of integrity has not. The world is much smaller than you think, especially with technology. It does not take long to get a bad reputation. Every time you give your word, you're putting your honor on the line. You are implying that others can place their trust in you because you value integrity. You would never let anyone down, and it goes without saying that if you don't live up to your word, it will end up tarnishing your reputation and damaging your relationship. Most importantly, you'll be letting yourself down. One of the things that I didn't understand growing up was my parents or caregivers would say one thing and then something else would happen. I could never trust on what they said to be what was going to happen. And one of the prime examples that I give is around my birthday, February 22nd, in Atlanta, either the Ice Capades would come or the Ringling Brothers Circus. And my mother would go, oh, let's get the family together and go to the circus for your birthday, or the Ice Capades. I go, oh yeah, that's great. And she'd say, well, invite a couple of your friends. So I'd invite a couple of my friends. It never failed. 2 or 3 days before we were set to go, my mother would pitch an anger fit or a tirade, and she would go, I'm not taking you to the circus for your birthday, and I'm not paying for your stupid friends. Of course, I was like 6, 7, 8 at the time, and I'd have to call my friends and say, we're not going. And then my father would come in to me, and he would say, hey, Mary Ellen, why don't we make it a father-daughter day? And so he would end up taking me. And it did damage my friendship with my friends because they would know I went, but I told them they couldn't go. So when you keep a promise, especially to a child, keep your word. When you break a promise, no matter how small, alarm bells go off to the other person, setting up red flags that you can't be trusted. When you fail to keep a promise, it communicates to the other person that you do not value him or her. You put something else ahead of your commitment to that person. And of course, this results in the erosion of trust in any relationship, whether it's work or personal. When you make a promise or give your word, don't rationalize or make excuses for yourself. Push yourself to work a little longer, sacrifice something, persist and persevere in order to keep your promise. Now, there will be times when it's impossible to keep a promise. Now, in that case, address it head on by calling the person and taking responsibility and making alternative plans to do whatever you have to do to make it right for the other person. Most often people will keep their word. You should always expect the best of people and give them your trust until they prove they are not worthy of that trust. When any promise is made, be clear with your communication. Make sure you understand what they are promising and make sure they heard what you are promising. It is also important to remember to give positive reinforcement. It's very powerful, and be grateful. Say, gee, I knew you went out of your way and it took a lot of work and effort to keep this promise to me. I am so appreciative of it. So make sure you tell them. So whether it is a promise or just a simple word or suggestion, such as, well, honey, I'll take out the garbage tonight, or I'll call you when I get there. Make sure you do what you say you're going to do. This is extremely important in any relationship. The self-talk for this type of relationship, for this type of promise is, I keep my promise. To the best of my ability, when I give my word, I follow through with integrity and honor. I trust others because I know they can trust me. So whether it is a gift from God, the promise you were born to fulfill, or keeping your promises to others, let us all come together in faith, love, peace, and jointly make our society better through expressing and keeping our promise to the world and to each other. Thank you for joining me on Miracles on Monday with Mary Ellen. Please share this video with your friends and family if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ask Mary Ellen. I need you. Anyway, you can contact me through AskMaryEllen.com and join me next week on Miracles on Monday when I will be speaking about the miracle of prosperity. So make sure in the meantime you pick up a copy of Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing, or, Healing Words, Life Lessons to Inspire, both on Amazon, and both, even if I say it myself, really good books that God put me here to fulfill my promise. So until next week, Chandra, Kenneth, Barbara, Manny, I see so many of you watching. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm sorry if I didn't call somebody's name, but share this with your friends. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you were just over 9 minutes.